So this is our cheap Jeep. It's a 2007 JK 2-door, 6-speed manual. We got it for $4,500 last year, and it was by far the cheapest one I could find, but it needs some work. The biggest issue we've been having with it is it has developed a death wobble, and if you don't know what that is, you're lucky, because when you're driving at highway speeds, the steering will just start jerking out of your hands, and the tires will do this on the road. There's lots and lots of information out there on how different people think to fix it. I'm going to start with ball joints, and I've had a little bit of slop in the passenger and the driver's side. Just when I have it up on the lift, you can shake the wheel up and down, and if you get a little bit of movement, then you've got some loose, sloppy ball joints. So we're going to put 4 new ball joints in, and hopefully that fixes it. There's some stuff for the track bar that we're going to look at as well. According to some forums, that is also a thing to look at. And then once that's done, we're going to do some cosmetic stuff. I have new tube fenders to replace these sun-faded and ugly fender flares. And eventually we'll do bumpers, but I don't have material for that right now. And lastly, the catalytic converters are junk. I think they're cheap aftermarket ones that the last owner put on, but you can hear on the driver's side there's material rattling around in one of them, and it sounds terrible. It sounds like engine noise to like other people thought my motor was blowing up, but it's just chunks of stuff rattling around in the catalytic converter. I have downstream O2 sensor check engine lights, so they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So we'll probably have to get new cats, which sucks because they're expensive and they're all one piece and there's 4 cats. So you can't just replace whichever one's bad. You have to buy the whole thing. And to buy the whole thing and not get cheap aftermarket ones like the guy did is going to be like a very large portion of what I paid for the vehicle. So that sucks, but that's how it goes, I guess, buying cheap stuff off Marketplace. But we're going to take that apart, and I'll show you some video of it making that noise, and probably going to have to put some cats in it. But that's what we're going to do. I fast forwarded through just taking the wheel off, and so you have to pull the unit bearing off for these, and they have these weird multi-point bolts. So take the wheel off, take the brake off, and then these 3 unit bearing bolts, and then you gotta take there's an Allen key that has the ABS sensor in it. You'll take that off before you start yarding on it and break it. You also need to take this big, like 35 millimeter nut off that holds the axle onto the unit bearing. It's like the first thing you take off. And pull your axle out without getting crazy and ruining the bearing or seals. I don't know if this... That smells like gear oil. Oh, all that's left now is pull the nuts off for the ball joints and get your ball joint press and pull it out. Probably have to take the tie rod off too. You? No, I don't think you do. Oh, that's good. I should probably just take it off. Should I? Ooh, man. You know, something like that. I'd be born with that. The 13/16, in case you were wondering. Where's this thing? Oh, I don't like that at all. Do the old hit the outside of the casting with a hammer trick. You gotta be born. Something like that. Same here. Yeah. Got it. I don't want one of these snap-on ball joint presses you get at Harbor Freight. The snap off, actually. How's this good? Do you pull? I do this just often enough that I forget how to do it. You pull the bottom one first, and then that gives you room to do the top one.
What do you do? Don't ruin the tool. It's $45.
Why are we saying that?
The last time when we did ball joints the very first time, I'm pretty sure we used just a wrench, and I was like, "This is the dumbest thing we've ever done." And
We've done some stupid stuff.
We did some crazy stuff, and then finally the next day we're like, "This is dumb," and I used the impact, and it just like fell apart.
So after consulting YouTube University and figuring out what combination of spacers and things, looks like we're ready to push the top one down. My lift is just too tall.
Yeah, it's going. Do you need a stool?
Yeah, or a hunk of wood. Now what? Our non-English speaking buddy made that look like it wasn't that big a deal.
What we're going to do is we're just going to crank this down. It's going to push the ball joint out from the
See? Easy. Yeah, so I ended up using short little socket and a big washer. And yeah. If you're watching us for educational reasons, something really bad has happened. Ball joints are the least of your problems at that point. Cool. The bottom one goes like this, right? Bingo.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that's lunch. So if you have death wobble, one thing to look at is your track bar. This is track bar, panhard bar, depends on who you ask, but it's the same thing. And it just locates the axle left to right, driver to passenger. Jeep or Chrysler, they have the tabs for the frame are drilled out for a 9/16 bolt, and so is the bushing for the track bar. Everything should be 9/16, but they used a 14 millimeter bolt, which is too small. It's just small enough for the bolt to wiggle around in the hole as your suspension moves up and down. And they also used a completely threaded bolt with like threads the whole way instead of a shoulder bolt that has a nice flat spot for the bushing to ride. So basically you just have teeth acting like a file, just ruining the hole. So the hole was all egg-shaped and wallered out, and so the track bar was moving around by hand. So my fix was I got the correct size bolt, 9/16 bolt, and then I went and got some 9/16 grade 8 washers, and I cleaned out the hole on the frame tabs, drilled it out a little bit bigger, and then I welded the washers to the frame bracket, and basically it acts like an easier way to, instead of welding up the holes and re-drilling them the right size, just use some washers. And so for like $6 in grade 8 hardware, definitely makes it a lot better. Didn't solve all my problems, but from the research I'm doing, it does solve some people's drivability and wobble issues. So it's almost free. It's easy. Start there. The new ball joints going in. We're doing both sides. So I got OEM Spicer ball joints. They were about $200 for all four. And so it's better than just random Napa brand or whatever part store brand, or what came on it. It's a Dana axle. It's a Dana product. So $200. So now I'm just going to clean out the ball joint holes with some brake clean and 3M pad. So they can only go in one way. The top one's way too big for the bottom one, so it's gonna go in like that. So these guys are non-greasable, which I didn't realize, but it's not that big a deal. If you ever feel like you need to, you can get a syringe with a needle on it and poke it into the thicker part of the rubber and put a couple squirts of grease in there. But now I'm gonna put it on time lapse and let you listen to some royalty-free music while I put this back together, because it's gonna take a while and kind of gotta remember how it goes together, because I'm a plumber, I'm not a mechanic, so that's my excuse for today.